what's up? Welcome back to another Planty video. My name is Shannon and this is Planted386. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by, giving my small channel some support. I always appreciate it when someone new stops by for the first time, and I understand there's a plethora of Planty content for you to get into, so I appreciate you being here. And if you're returning, thank you guys so much for being here week after week, month after month, making this community what it is. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I appreciate this community more than you know. And this week's shout out goes out to Sherry's Leaves. So Sherry has been a part of my channel for a while now, and she is always active in my other accounts as well. So if you are not familiar, I do have a Planty TikTok, I have a Planty Instagram, and I have, of course, a Planty Facebook. All of those are Planted386. So if you are interested in checking me out there, please feel free to do so. But yeah, Sherry's been around for a while and I appreciate her support. You'll see her often in the comments down below and we're just chatting about, but she also does have a channel here on YouTube. So if you are looking for more Planty content to binge, definitely check out Sherry. She is a lovely person and she's looking to build her channel as well. So this week, you guys, we are getting into March favorites. I can't believe the month of March is over. I definitely know I have been MIA for the past couple weeks. We're going to talk about it in a second. Just a couple like greenhouse updates. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. I also want to let you guys know that I have been posting links down in the description box. I always fill out the description box every single time I upload a video. I never talk about it, but I thought I would start to talk about it. Basically, it's just things that I use on the regular. So if you're ever curious or you're interested in trying something new, perhaps, you can always check out my links. I do want to let you know that I do make a small commission off those links, so just being transparent, but they are definitely all products that I use and love regularly. So as far as the greenhouse goes and my schedule, the past couple weeks has been pretty hectic. We did have a couple big events here locally that we enjoy going to, so that kind of took me away from my normal filming days. Also, I'm having a hard time sort of managing my schedule when it comes to filming and the greenhouse, and normally it's fine, but recently I've had quite a few cleaning gigs. I also clean for a living, if you didn't know. And so the days that I would film are pretty much days that I'm now cleaning. So I'm grateful for the money, I'm grateful for the opportunity to work, and so it is what it is, but I'm hoping that we can get back on a regular routine. I have all day today to film this, edit this, and I'm hoping that maybe I can get a couple videos in, and that way at least I have some backup. But if you guys are interested in the greenhouse content, I can definitely do greenhouse content more often than here, you know, because I'm there 2 days a week guaranteed. So there's always something going on there. And if I told you guys I wouldn't spam you with greenhouse content, but if you would rather have some greenhouse content over no content, let me know down below. Of course, that's not my hope, but things happen, right? And so that's that. Also, guys, we are on Palm Street now. So if you want to check out Blue Moon Tropicals on Palm Street, I would love to see you guys there. We actually did our first live on JMO. Hey JMO, do you have to pick the most crinkly toy? Can you come say hi and hang out with me? Yeah, come say hi and hang out with me. That's a crinkly toy. So our first live was last Wednesday, so I don't even remember the day, guys, but it was like the end of March. And it was amazing. Actually, a couple of you came into the live and I was so tickled pink, but basically on Wednesdays we go live at noon Eastern Standard Time. We are going to hopefully expand that. But yeah, I'm behind the camera, and Haley, the owner, is in the comments. Her husband works the camera, and then Heather, she's another girl that works with us. She kind of hands me the plants. So it's like this little team. Actually, tomorrow we're going to go in and package all of the orders that sold on Wednesday. So if you are interested in hanging out with me on Wednesdays live on Palm Street, I'd love to see you there. Just follow Blue Moon Tropicals. I'll have it down below. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm so excited to bring you these plants for the month. I will be honest, I haven't had a ton of time to spend with my plants this month, but yesterday I got to get in, I got to water everything, I got to really take a look at everything, and there's some really lovely things to show you. A couple are repeats from last month, I'm not gonna lie, or maybe last video. But nonetheless, they're all so beautiful, and I can't wait to share them with you. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, guys, the first one I'm going to share with you is a cactus, and it is actually my booby cactus. So check her out. She is looking fly. I can't believe how big she's gotten, to be quite honest. She definitely needs a dusting. I noticed that yesterday, but I moved her from... Where did I have her? I had her in this window over here, like my cacti succulent window. And I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like she was getting too tall. That's what it was. We put the little box outside of the window, and John wanted to be able to see the box through the window. So I felt like this guy got a little bit too tall. So I did move him to the window over here, and she seems to be loving it. She's actually putting on some little babies. So we have 2 little babes coming in. Don't mind the dust, guys, the fuzz, like, it is what it is. She needs a dusting. But yeah, I can't believe how big she's gotten. I got these when they were probably this tall. We call them Twin Peaks, and honestly, all of this skinny growth is what's new in addition to the little pups that she's putting out. So this is a plant that John really wanted, and we found it at EFG. I believe this is one that we got from EFG Orchids, which is the place that I share locally. You can't buy online from them, but we go there quite often, and I know they're having their spring sale starting in April. So, which is like, I believe today or tomorrow. I don't know. I'll have to look at the date. I don't even know what date it is today, guys. Days are running into each other. But yeah, I think she's super cool. I'm loving how she's looking in this pot with the lava rock. And I think it's probably time to upgrade this pot soon. I've decided, I've gone back and forth whether or not I want to split them up. John seems to want to split them up, but I kind of like them together. I feel like they're Twin Peaks, you know? Like, I feel like they've been hanging out together this whole time, and there's that part of me that feels guilty for separating them. I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you keep them together, or would you separate them? Because I could definitely separate one and sell it at the plant swap, but I don't know. I'm excited to see where these babies go and what they look like. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know I love a good cactus. So that's the first one. And then we're going to reel right into the second one. I'm just going to grab it. This is that dark mag hybrid. And if you guys have been here for a while, you will know that this Anthurium I was going to give up on, actually. This is the second or third time that I had restarted this Anthurium from a chunk, and I was literally going to ditch it, because every time it puts out leaves, the leaves would yellow off, it would get like yellow spots, and it would just die back, and it was honestly super frustrating. I don't have a mag in my collection, just like a solo mag without being like a hybrid. And even though this is a hybrid, I do feel like it puts off, you know, mag vibes. And honestly, it was my guilt. It was my like feeling guilty for throwing something away. And so I was like, fine, I'm going to give you one more chance. I put it back into sphagnum moss, and here we are. Like, she looks so good. She looks so happy. So I have her in just this like solo cup of my soil substrate, which I have to tell you guys, if you are on the fence about soil substrate, please, please, please check out ProMix. I have it linked down below. It is the only soil for me. I have a bag coming from Amazon because my local garden center stopped carrying it in the big bag. So disheartening because I really prefer to shop local and support local. But nonetheless, I had to get it off Amazon and it should be here on Thursday. And I will show you guys in the next video. We'll open it together and I'll show you the consistency straight out of the bag. I cannot speak highly enough about this soil, and it has honestly changed the game for me when it comes to growing in soil. I don't have fungus gnats. I don't have those issues anymore. And my plants love it. They just love it. I feel like it's just the perfect amount of aeration. I've gone on and on and on about this soil, so I'm not going to keep going on and on about it in this video, but just know that ProMix soil is amazing, and I feel like that is why a big reason why this plant is doing so well, because once I transferred it from moss, after it gave me like, you know, this little leaf, and I put it into this substrate, boom, she took off. She's given me this leaf, and it looks like she's gonna push another one soon. So yeah, I wanted to share this update with you guys because it's like one of those, it's like never give up, you know what I mean? If it's still green, it's still got life, never give up, you never know. So I am glad I didn't give up on her. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, so that's number 2. I think today we have about 15 plants. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good amount. So the third one I want to share with you is my Hoya croniana right here. This girl and I have gone round and round, you guys. Like, I struggled so hard with this plant in the beginning. This was actually a big box purchase, and I brought it home. It did great for like a couple weeks, and what I find buying big box Hoyas, usually they always tend to freak out once I get them home, and I don't know why that is. I think it's just because the substrate that they put them in it's that peat like mix of it's just not good anyways, and when they come to the house they just remain too damp. So what you're seeing here is all from cuttings. I basically took what I could salvage from the plant after it started to like freak out and die off, and I propagated all of these cuttings in moss. And here we are today, a full-on beautiful plant, and I am so happy to have her. I love Hoya croniana. I had been admiring other people's cronianas and honestly was feeling a bit jealous that mine just wasn't looking like that. But even more exciting, if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I have a hard time getting Hoyas to bloom. It's not I've pretty much accepted that I buy Hoyas for the foliage and not the blooms because I really struggle with that. But this is now the second Hoya to give me a peduncle, and she's actually got, it looks like perhaps another one on here, but check her out, you guys. Cutie, cutie little peduncle. And I can't wait to see what these flowers looked like. I enjoyed that whole experience so much of my Hoya Bella blooming. The bloom lasted for weeks. I couldn't believe it. And the flowers were so beautiful and so fragrant. So now I'm like hooked on Hoya blooms and whatever it takes to get them to bloom. And one thing that I have noticed is they seem to love being in the window. I don't know what that is. They grow well in my grow cabinets, but they never bloom for me in the grow cabinet. Only when I hang them in the window, and it's these windows here, do they seem to bloom for me. So super exciting. She's got a ton of growth. She's got another, yeah, like I said, another peduncle. Even there, it looks like, yeah, it looks like she's about to bloom all over the place. I don't know. I just continue to water her, leave her alone. I never move her from this spot now. And I can't get over that this started from just some little cuttings that I put in the pot, hoping that it would all work out. And so I have noticed that she does love to drink. When I underwater her, she definitely tells me. So I feel like this is a Hoya that's thirsty, maybe thirstier than you would think. And yeah, I'm enamored by her and I cannot wait. I will definitely take a picture of that bloom and put it on I'll put it somewhere. I'll either put it on TikTok or Instagram. If I'm being honest, you guys, I'm not really on my Planty Facebook very often. I usually use TikTok and Instagram, mostly TikTok. So I will definitely keep you guys updated. I'll do like a little short or something, a photo, and show you guys what this bloom looks like. But yeah, I'm so excited and I can't wait. Cannot wait to see. I just want to say quickly that I missed you guys so much and it feels so good to be back on here. Yeah, I miss chatting with you guys down below. So let me know how you've been. Let me know what's been up the past couple weeks. And if you've gotten anything new, if you've gotten anything new and exciting that you are just dying to tell someone about, that person's me. I want to know. Okay, so the next one is my Anthurium Delta Force. Okay, so this is a repeat from last video. But I can't help it, you guys. This is my ultimate wish list plant, and I am so grateful to have her. She was kindly gifted to me from Blue Moon, and the arrangement is that once she gets to flowering size, which she is putting out her first flower, mature enough to breed, I breed her. So that's kind of where we're going with this one. I sort of specialize in anthuriums at this point, and I have the time to really pamper her and dedicate to her and like breed her. So that's what's going on here. She is also putting out her first new leaf in my care. We went ahead in the last video and potted her up into her new little pot. And since then, she's just really enjoyed that switch up. I will say there's some signs of edema on the older leaves. And unfortunately, this leaf here looks like it got burnt. My grow lights and my Millsbow tall, they fell and I didn't catch it in time, so it kind of went a day or two probably with that happening. So that's unfortunate, but I'm not really worried about these smaller leaves. It's these main leaves that I'm more concerned about. Also, we went out of town and I don't think it got the light that it, because I wasn't here to like maintain. And so there is some yellowing on the tip of this leaf, but I'm hoping that with this new leaf and going forward, it's just going to be nothing but up from here. She's also had to acclimate to my conditions and all of the things, but I just wanted to share her with you because if you missed the last video, we did repot this together and I talked about why I have it and how grateful I am to have it. And I just, to be honest, I still can't believe I have this plant. I think it is the most beautiful plant on planet Earth. And I know that might sound exaggerative, but truly to me, this is the most beautiful, beautiful plant. In the mature form, like if you go to Instagram and you look at Danya Castro's, I'll try to put a picture up if I can remember in editing of Danya Castro's beautiful Delta Force. I will do that, or at least one that's of a mature size so you guys can really get an idea of how magical this anthurium really is. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this leaf unfurl and to sort of see what happens with it over the next, week and a half or so. And I'll keep you guys posted on it for sure, but I definitely wanted to share her progress with you guys. And honestly, I haven't been able to stop staring at her this entire month. Like every time I come home, she's the one that I'm looking for. Even though I've been so busy, I am on the hunt to check her out. The next one I have is a peperomia. Oh, she's heavy. And this is my Peperomia Pink Lady. This is another one that I got from Blue Moon. These are pretty hot on the market right now, actually. And from what I'm seeing, they're pretty pricey. I didn't know that because Haley sells these in a small 3-inch pot for 25 bucks, which normally they go for like $50 to $60 in that size. I had no idea. I bought this several months back, I think before it got like, I guess, hyped up, if you will. And I just thought it was super cute. I love a good peperomia. And so I just saw the pink on it and was like, oh my goodness, she is so cute. I have to have her. And I'm so glad that I did because she brings me nothing but joy. And I especially love her in this little pot. I actually made this pot out of air dried clay. I just took like an IKEA basic planter and wrapped it in the clay and then sort of like painted the little face or whatever. I've thought about making some more of them because they do she brings me so much joy. But yeah, I just think she's so cute, and I want you guys to check out that pretty pink coloration. They seem to, if I'm being honest with you, the pink is sort of sporadic. It doesn't seem to be based off of lighting or weather or anything like that. So I think it's just kind of, it is what it is, like the specimen you get. I could be wrong about that, but just in my experience observing this plant, it doesn't seem to get pinker if I put it in brighter light or lower light. It just, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's really, really beautiful. Such a cool little peperomia, and she does have plenty more of these if you are interested and you like peperomias. We've been showing them in the lives on Palm Street, but I think she also has them listed in the marketplace as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think she's so darling, and I just love this pot so much. I definitely need to rotate it because where she sits, she does get light from the Barina light, and I do have it under the pink Barina lights just because that's what I had available. But the other side of the plant is kind of up against the window, sort of. So I think that's why she's sort of leaning. But yeah, guys, super cute peperomia pink lady. All right, next is my string of pearls, and I am not sure I've ever even shown you guys this plant. And I don't know why, because I enjoy it so much. So you're gonna look at it and you're probably gonna think, well, that's not much of anything, but understand that I started this string of pearls as a tiny, I think it might have been, it was a small pot, guys. Like, I don't even see, like smaller than this. This is the size pot that little peperomia pink lady came in. It was smaller than this. So if this is a 3-inch pot, it might have been like a 1-inch pot. It was a really, really tiny start. And I got it from a local greenhouse called Big Value. I also don't think that they sell online, but it's the same greenhouse that I got my soil from before they stopped carrying it. And this is a variegated string of pearls. And traditionally, I have not done very well with string of pearls at all. Like, I started with just your, basic green form string of pearls, was never able to keep them alive. And so, to be honest, I honestly thought that I would, she wouldn't make it. But here she is. She's totally filled out this terracotta pot. And she has started to like drape down the sides, but every time she does that, I just continue to put her little pearls back in the pot. And my hope is to fully and completely fill out this pot and then allow it to drape over. But I love her, and I think she's so charming. And I also love this terracotta pot. Like, I think it has patinaed so beautifully. But I guess the secret is she seems to really enjoy, I've tried growing these outside in my Florida conditions. I've tried growing them inside, in the grow cabinet. And what I've noticed is, like Hoya, they seem to like being in a windowsill where they're going to get some, direct light for a part of the day. And since putting it in this spot in the window, I never move it. I never touch it. I water it once a week in the same way that I water the rest of my plants, with the same fertilizer. And it's done really, really well for me. So if you're struggling with string of pearls, perhaps try to find a windowsill in your house that gets some direct sunlight throughout the day, and try putting it there and see how it does, because it's done really, really good things for me. But anyways, that's her, and I'm happy to finally share her with you because I don't think I've ever shared her with you. Plus, the variegated version is so dang cute, you guys, so dang cute. Okay, guys, this is definitely a repeat from February favorites, but I think you're gonna see why in just a second. So this is my variegated Hoya Bella. This is the outer variegated, and the reason she is in my favorites again this month is because she is loaded in blooms, you guys. So this is officially the 3rd Hoya now that is going to bloom for me. I literally cannot believe it. And because I'm realizing that my Hoyas seem to love the windows so much, I actually had John install a larger curtain rod in the cacti succulent window so that I can potentially hang some more Hoyas from the window. Bless him, he is so patient with the plant journey. But it's so worth it, you guys. Look at these blooms. Like, I don't even know how many's on here. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6 different peduncles going on right now. And so just like the Croniana, when this one blooms, I will definitely keep you guys updated, and I will post it to either TikTok or Instagram. So stay tuned for that. But I got her from Blue Moon. I got her, I don't have the tag in here, and I really wish I did, but I've had her probably, I would say like 8 months or so now. When I first got her, she actually did that thing Hoyas do. Whenever I get Hoyas, they decline rapidly, usually when I bring them home, and then they come back. I sometimes have to take cuttings and start them from scratch, which is what I had to do with this one. And sometimes they'll just kind of bounce back on their own, but most of the time I do have to start them from scratch. And that is what I did with this one. I took cuttings, I started over, and here we are. We're like a full grown plant now. I cannot believe how beautiful she is, how graceful and gorgeous she looks hanging in the window. I am so hyped up about this plant. And so I know she does have a few of these left in the greenhouse. I'm not sure exactly how many, but she definitely has a few left. So if you guys are interested, check out Palm Street. We do take requests at the end too. So I know I keep talking about Palm Street, but most of my collection has come from Blue Moon, you guys. So if ever you see anything that you like, that's more than likely where I got it and where you can find it. But yes, I cannot believe how gorgeous she is. I know I'm like going on and on about it, and I'm not gonna talk any more about it because we did show her last month, but I just wanted to share her again one more time, and I will definitely keep you posted on these blooms. I wonder if they are like the traditional Hoya Bella, or if they like vary. So I'm interested to see what happens, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Okay guys, next up is my Monstera aurea, and it's gonna be kind of hard to show you her entirely in the frame. I guess I'll start with her bottom leaves here. So I got this back in, let me check the tag. Why didn't I put the date? I hate when I do that. I've had her probably, I don't know, maybe like 8 months or so, roughly around then. But I got her from, I think it was a local plant, like a local house plant group. And the guy was a super sweet guy. He was in Orlando, which is about, I don't know, it's about an hour and a half from me. And he had a 3-leaf cutting available, and I think I paid 30 bucks for it, which I felt like was a really good price for a 3-leaf cutting. It had one aerial root that it wasn't rooted, but it was just really juicy, and I felt like I've worked with Monsteras long enough that I felt confident that I could get it to root. And so, yeah, I don't even remember, guys, honestly. I think the first leaves were this one here, this one there, and this one over here. Those were the first 3 leaves. This was the first one that it put out for me. And from that point on, it's literally just grown beautifully. It's kind of hard to show you, like I said, because she's a little bit leggy for my liking, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of leggy plants, but I am kind of afraid to propagate her, only because sometimes when you propagate, you will lose that beautiful variegation. Like, look at this leaf, gorgeous. I would love to see her fenestrate for me, but I'm okay if she never does. Honestly, I have her kind of framing the window over here, and she just looks beautiful. She looks delicate, beautiful, very tropical. Like, her aerial roots are no joke. I know I could definitely chop this and fill out this pot a little bit more. if you've been around, you may suggest like putting it on a moss pole or whatever, but I don't really particularly care for moss poles, guys. It's not really my forte. I do have one that is set up and ready to go that I could use on her, but I feel like she's growing just fine on this cocoa pole. I prefer a cocoa pole. I just like the look of them better. I feel like it's just neater looking, more streamlined. And so, excuse me, that's just my preference. And she is about to put out a new leaf right there, which is exciting. And one thing I love about this plant also is it is, what is it, photographic? I think it's Polaroid variegation, where it starts out, you're really unsure what the leaf is going to look like until it hardens off, and then you kind of know. And I love that kind of variegation. I think it's so cool to watch the process unfold. Similarly to why I love anthuriums so much is because the leaves start off so tiny and it's like a whole process to watch them emerge. So not only is it exciting that you're going to get a new leaf, but you get to watch the whole process unfold. And so, yeah, that's her. I don't think I've really ever shown her, maybe but a couple times on the channel. So I just thought I would share her with you. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 leaves working on her 11th. So yeah, I've thought about propping her and, you know, selling her or whatever, but yeah, I'm happy with the way that she looks. And again, I'm so afraid that she'll revert if I chop her. It's kind of the same boat I'm in with my Florida Beauty, although I feel like I am gaining courage to chop my Florida Beauty soon because she's like starting to wrap around the window and is very, very leggy. But yeah, that's her and I love her so much. Okay guys, next up I have another anthurium, one that I don't really show often, but she is absolutely striking and she's taking off like crazy. And so I noticed the other day that she was popping off and I was like, wow, I really need to share her. So this is Dark Forgetii crossed Ace Crystal Red. And there is definitely 4 different plants in this pot, perhaps 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plants in the pot. So she definitely needs a pot up and I definitely need to separate some of these, but for now I am enjoying how this looks. It's so full and lush. I know that I'm gonna run out of space and they're kind of getting cluttered amongst each other as they start to emerge. The leaves sort of get hung on each other. So I'm definitely going to separate some of these. I'll probably keep 2 and pass on 3 at the plant swap. I'm actually waiting for the dirt that I have coming in. I was going to do this yesterday actually, but I just didn't have enough soil to do so. So yeah, as soon as I get some new soil, we're gonna go ahead and separate her. Maybe I'll do it on camera, that way you guys can kind of see the process of separating an anthurium if you are curious or you've never done it before. If you've been around, you know that most of my anthuriums are for breeding purposes, and up until propagating my queen, I had never propagated an anthurium. 2 reasons, mostly because I want to breed them and 2 because I'm terrified. They grow so closely, the like internodal spacing, that I honestly didn't understand how to propagate them until once they start to grow up a bit. That's when you can see like the aerial roots and how it would be easier to make a cut. But it is kind of sad nonetheless to like chop such a beautiful striking plant, and I do think I struggle with that. However, something like this that's clustered like that, you can actually just separate it and it will have some beautiful, amazing roots to start with. So that's what we're going to do with this one, and I'll try to film it and walk you guys through the process. But you can definitely see the forgetii traits in this anthurium, especially as these leaves start to get larger. And what's interesting is it's 4 different plants here, but they all kind of look the same. Some of the leaves are a little more elongated while others are a little bit rounder, but for the most part, all of the sinuses are closed. So it definitely took on those forgetii traits. And to be honest, I don't really see anything like other than Forgetii in this, but I mean, I do see the crystal, obviously the venation, the striking, pretty venation. That's what an emergent leaf looks like. She has one coming. And yeah, I'll probably let this one emerge. My dirt should be here Thursday, and it should be good to go from that point on. But anyways, I thought I'd share her with you because she's so lush and beautiful. I think she's gonna be my thumbnail. I think she deserves to be a thumbnail. Okay guys, next on the list is my Lux. So my Anthurium luxurians. This is her, looking so cute, her new little leaf. I love luxurians. Such a cool Anthurium. I will say I don't struggle with this Anthurium. I just think that it's one that requires less water than some of my others. So I've been trying to be mindful of that, really just sort of like feeling the moss and checking before just haphazardly dumping water in on a weekly basis. But it takes her a little bit longer to put out leaves. That's what I've noticed, at least for me. This seems to be a little bit slower of a grower. But look at that beautiful texture. These emergent leaves are so fun, and I love the lobes on a Lux. I see some other people's Luxes, and I am just like, please, I cannot wait to have a large, mature luxurians leaf. I know that Effie, I believe her name is Effie from Monef's Jungle. I love her channel, by the way. I will put it down below. I'll put it on the screen. Definitely check her out. She lives in New York City in an apartment with her family, and she's a houseplant grower. So she kind of shows her life in New York and whatever, but she has a beautiful luxurians, and on occasion she'll show it. But this is its newest leaf. It is just about to harden off fully. Like I don't really see this expanding anymore, but I wanted to share it with you guys because it's been a while since she's given me a new leaf, and so yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Looks like she's working on something else over here for me. I'm not really sure exactly if it's a new leaf or perhaps a flower. I'm kind of hoping another leaf, but yeah, guys, Anthurium luxurians, super cool Anthurium, pretty easy Anthurium, I must say. It's been, like I said, it doesn't, if you're an underwaterer, this is probably a better option for you than perhaps like a velvety leafed one, because they don't seem to require as much water as the velvety leaves. But that is something I struggle with because I tend to be an overwaterer. But anyways, check her out. She is so cute. I have her in this cool terracotta, which she's actually in a plastic pot. I find that Anthuriums don't typically love terracotta, but I just thought this pot was so pretty, much prettier than the, black plastic pot. And so, yeah, that's what she's living in. For now, I also got a new plant shelf, guys. I will show it to you at some point in the video. I'll just kind of like give you a little peek. But I put it together yesterday, actually, and I think it really adds a lot to the Planty corner. Got it at the thrift store that we clean, so it was a good deal. Okay, guys, next up on the list is my original Anthurium. It's called Titan's Fingers, but it's essentially a cross between Anthurium titanium and Anthurium fingers, and it's one that our local grower EFG Orchids put out. So this is what it looks like. Super cool, super interesting. She's putting out a new leaf. These petioles are wild, you guys. The petioles grow out of control, but I love the unique sort of shape of these leaves. It's so neat and interesting. I will say let me take a look at her. I definitely see some signs of edema. This leaf is not even hardened off yet. It's still super duper soft. This one, it's kind of hard to get her in the frame because she's like just crazy. But I got her, I don't even remember, you guys, maybe back in like October of last year. And back then they were selling like little tiny seedlings, so it was like really hard to tell what characteristics you were going to get. And I will say, now that these have grown out, they still have a few at the greenhouse, and when I go in to look at them, they are all very different in their own way. So this was the first one that I picked up, and honestly, this is one that I was going to sell, and I still think that I will. because I went back several months later after they had started to grow out a little bit, and I found my second one, which is living up there. She hasn't given me any new growth, one leaf, I think, since bringing her home. So now I'm kind of on the fence as to which one I want to keep, but I know I definitely don't need both of them. I just think it's such an interesting and cool looking anthurium. I love these ruffly sort of edges. I am a sucker for a ruffly edge and a nice like lobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think these are so cool looking. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. Unfortunately, I know that I can't keep both, but I think it is such a striking anthurium. Like, if you were to set this on, if you had like it's even one that you can put on the ground, you know what I mean? Like, you could just keep it on the ground and use it as a floor piece because the petioles are so long. The other one I have, I could show it to you guys for a comparison. Let me grab the other one so you can kind of see them in comparison. Okay, so this is the other one, and as you can see, like, again, with these really pretty billowy sort of edges, so pretty. Like, look at these leaves, guys, so cool, so different. I feel like this is not one like you just see every day. The only thing is she hasn't given me any growth. Like, I don't know if she's not happy in this pot, so I don't know. I put her in this pot not that long ago, I feel like. I got her back in, this one here I got back in September of last year. So she did give me this leaf, this one here, but outside of that, that's the only leaf that she's given me. So I'm not sure why, but like you can see on this beginning leaves, like how wide the sinus is. Isn't that so interesting? Like, this looks very titanium to me, and then as it sort of grows out, it starts to look more fingers-y. They are different, like both of them are different in their own way. I just don't know if they're different enough to keep them both. However, I still have them both. So I guess that says a lot about my ability to pass on plants. I just think she's so cool. Perhaps I'll put one out in the pergola and leave one in here. I don't know. I just think it's super striking and it always catches my attention. Okay, guys, next up is another biggie. I think most of the ones that I have left, we're gonna either have to go on a field trip for, or they're just like larger plants, so they're gonna be a little bit harder to see. I just feel like my larger plants are really showing off this past month. So this is my variegated anthurium hookeri. And so this is a self-heading anthurium, kind of like bird's nest style, and this is her newest leaf that she's putting out. Again, it's going to be hard for me to show this to you guys, but maybe you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Really beautiful variegation. So again, this is one, like, if you're looking for a variegated anthurium, this is one that I think looks really striking. If I'm being honest, I'm not crazy about variegated anthuriums. Some of them are cool and some of them just look sickly to me, but I feel like this is one that really just looks beautiful. Variegation is so beautiful, and I kind of like the self-heading sort of growth pattern. It's not something that I would want like a ton of because these things do get absolutely huge, as you can see, but it does make a beautiful statement plant. I have it in this like bamboo sort of, I don't know, boho looking planter, and I think it looks totally cool in here. But yeah, I just kind of spinning her around. Like I said, it's kind of hard for me to show her to you because she's gotten so big, but I did get her from Blue Moon, and I did get her back in, no date. This was before I started putting dates on my tags, but I've had her for a while, guys. I've had her for, I'm not even sure, at least well over a year now, well over a year. So yeah, super cool anthurium. She does have more of these available if it's something you're interested in. And I'm just excited that she's putting out a new leaf. She doesn't give me leaves consistently. Like, this is not one that gives me leaves all the time, but when she does give them to me, it's a joy, it's a pleasure. And I'll try to get a little bit of B-roll of some of these larger plants that I've had a hard time showing you, so you guys can really see them up close. But yeah, I'm glad to share her with you, and I think she looks really beautiful. Okay guys, next is my Anthurium Dock Block Michelle. So she is also a repeat from, excuse me, my last video. And the reason she's a repeat is because I'm pretty surprised that she's already given me a new leaf. We repotted her in the last video, and I said that it would happen pretty quickly, because usually when I upsize my anthuriums, they generously give me a beautiful new leaf. But sometimes it will take them a little bit to acclimate to their new pot, especially if I put it in a large pot, which is what I did with this one here. Anyways, let's get her into the frame as best as possible. But so this is, again, another one that I cannot believe I'm sharing with you guys, showing you guys. This was like one of my dream wish list plants. And I got both of these girls on the same day. So I'm so grateful to have this. It brings me so much joy, you guys. This anthurium she is so beautiful. This was her most recent leaf. Let me try to turn her around. Again, I'll get some B-roll of them so you can see them and their beauty and not me struggling to show you them. But this leaf was emerging as she brought them to PlantCon, and as this leaf was emerging, she said people were like touching, and obviously it's hard to resist, but it's so important when an anthurium leaf is emerging not to touch. And so that is why this one is kind of tattered and damaged looking. But she has already given me her first flower in my care and her first gorgeous new leaf. You guys, look at that. Is that not one of the most beautiful things you have ever seen? I cannot stop staring at it. I look at her every single day. She finally found her permanent place in the house, so I think she'll have plenty of room there to kind of grow up and be who she needs to be. But yeah, so she's given me this beautiful flower also, and she seems to be acclimating perfectly. So I think I am going to breed her. I just have to figure out what pollen I want to use. I have several anthuriums kind of producing at this time. I do have a couple that are with child, so that will be an exciting journey. I hope you guys will follow along for that and the harvesting of the berries and so on and so forth. But yeah, so we can see this beautiful inflow here, and I am definitely going to breed her. I just don't know exactly who I want to breed her with just yet. I have, like I said, several options. I've got this beautiful Bessier. This is SKG Crystal Silver cross Bessier Af. So I could cross her with that. I also have several flowers going on right now. I have my it was supposed to be a Dock Block Michelle cross self that just totally looks like some kind of Forgetii hybrid. So I'm just calling it a no ID. That's putting out a beautiful flower right now that I could probably use. So I have some options. I just haven't fully decided yet which one I want to use. But not only are these leaves beautiful when they emerge, they're beautiful when they harden off. It's the most beautiful green, you guys. Like, this has the most beautiful shade of green. It's like I don't even know. It's like a forest green. It's like I can't even explain it in words. It's absolutely beautiful. The whole plant is beautiful and the flowers are beautiful. So yeah, I just am overwhelmed by her, to be honest. I'm just overwhelmed by her beauty. I just think she is ever so magical, and I just feel so grateful to have her. So this was a Proven Winners specimen that Haley, when she did PlantCon, she did purchase some Proven Winners pieces. And so she did get a few of these Dock Block Michelles, and she got some other variations of Dock Block anthuriums, like Red Velvet Cake, Cross Zara, things like that. So we're currently working on propagating some of those just to hopefully like use as parent plants. But yeah, guys, amazing. I cannot believe I have her, and I am just so excited to be able to finally really share her with you. So yeah. Okay, so the last two, guys, we're gonna have to go on a little bit of a field trip because they're just way too large for me to show you. One is outside in our front yard, and one is in the other planty corner. I have kind of like three planty corners. This is the main planty corner. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my Philodendron Splendid, which I'm not sure I've ever shown her to you, to be honest with you, but I just can't get over how much she's growing and how I've kind of styled her. I'm really, really enjoying it, so I kind of want to share that with you. And then our prickly pear cactus. It's a recent acquisition. We've only had it for maybe a couple months now, maybe. And so yesterday, John potted her up into her big girl pot. We picked out like a special pot for her. And I've always wanted a prickly pear cactus. So we stumbled across one, had to have it. He brought it home as a surprise for me. Actually, the same day that I got the Michelle and the Delta Force, I came home and he had bought me this beautiful terracotta pot and the prickly pear cactus. So it was such a good day, a memorable day, one I won't forget. And so yeah, let's go check out these other plants. Okay, so really quickly, I want to show you this new shelf that I got from the thrift store. So this is kind of how I've got it styled. I have my Zara. This is her newest leaf, looking so cute. So I have my Zara up here. And just a couple of, this is my Anthurium spectabalis that used to hang in this window. I split her up a couple weeks back, and so these are just some pups that I'm going to sell. But yeah, so that's one of them, and that is my Hoya carnosa Wilbur Graves. This is all of the cuttings that show less variegation, and I've just kind of kept putting them into this pot. I have a little Euphorbia Ghost. I definitely plan on selling her at the plant swap. I keep my Lux here, and then look how cutie patootie this is, you guys. Stop it right now. This is Hoya globulosa, and I just think she looks so cute in this little pot, just kind of hanging out here in the window. This is some cuttings I took from my mother plant, but to be honest, I'm kind of loving her more than my mother plant now, so I'm probably going to let go of my mother plant and keep her. And then this is my Anthurium No ID. I showed her in last month's favorites, but she is with child. As you can see, she's got these bumps happening on her inflow. So I believe once it is impregnated, it is then called an infructescence, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, we are going to monitor this journey. I am definitely going to stake this up as time goes on because these tend to get pretty heavy. As you can see, she's like drooping. So I do need to stabilize her. This is one that I need to separate, but because she's pregnant, I don't think I'm going to mess with her until after she gives me the berries. This is a new leaf here, and she's got another one coming in right there. So I just can't say that this is Doc Block Michelle. I mean, we just saw Doc Block Michelle, and this looks nothing like that. It looks like a Forgetii crystallinum or something. So I'm just calling it a No ID. It is a striking Anthurium, and I am happy to have it. I got this as a little seedling, guys. It was super teeny tiny. So the fact that it's this big is pretty crazy. And you know, I love that she is multiple plants in the pot because she just looks so full and lush, but it's a lot going on, you know what I mean? So that's that. That is my new little planty shelf and kind of like how it looks in the corner. I think it adds a lot of value to the corner, and I'm excited to have it. But anyways, let's go check out the prickly pear cactus. All right, guys, it is a bit of a gloomy day here in Florida. We just got some rain, which we needed so desperately. But this is my little prickly pear. And so it just started out with these pads here. And so the really rich purple ones are all new pads that are coming in. I am stoked to have this, you guys. I've always wanted a prickly pear. And so look at these little baby pads, so cute. This one's kind of cool too because it's got like I don't know, it's like really 3D looking. Anyways, such a cool cactus. And yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these to sort of mature, at least a couple of them, and I'm going to take them off and try to get them to root. That is my goal. But anyways, I wanted to share her with you because I'm so excited to have her. And this is the cute pot that we chose. It's this super cute, I think it's clay, guys, honestly, but I liked it because it looked like travertine. And I liked the little pops of like pastels. So yeah, I think the two pair really nicely together. And this is kind of like our little cactus garden. We need to clean up these leaves and things like that. But yes, that's her. Okay guys, last but not least is my Splendid. So it actually starts way down here. And you can see these are all of her leaves. I do have her on like an actual moss pole, but if like the moss is bone dry, I never bother to keep the moss watered. To me, it's just too much of a hassle and I just can't be bothered. But I do absolutely adore this philodendron. And so what I've done is I've just started to let her kind of grow over the curtain rod. And she seems to like it, so I'm not mad about it. She grows like a weed, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue to let her go over this arch. And then at that point, you know, I'll consider cutting or whatever if I have to, or perhaps I'll just try to wrap it back around and go the other way. I love Philodendron Splendid. I think it is such a beautiful plant. I love that like subtle red to the backs, and I just think these leaves are absolutely beautiful. So I am super thankful for her, and I have to say, I've really enjoyed watching her grow in this sort of like organic way. It's just kind of how I prefer to grow, guys. You know, I like to see plants as they would grow sort of in their natural habitat, and I just think it's cool. I think it's unique, it's different, and it really adds an interesting touch, you know, to the window. So over here, you can see I'm kind of doing the same thing with my esqueleto. It's just kind of going over the cabinet, and it's finally going to give me another leaf. So I may chop this back actually and just go ahead and what I did is I chopped it there and I had it growing like straight up the wall and it refused to give me a leaf until I draped it over this way. So I may do that again, sort of chop it like here and allow it to grow over the hutch, and hopefully it would produce more leaves than that. But I also have my like philodendron Florida green growing up like that. I just think it looks so cool and very jungly. So like that's where the Florida green starts, and she just kind of vines up. I've kind of got her mixed in with this esqueleto. It's just, I don't know, I like it. I think it's cool. So we have a new forgetti-eye leaf. Look at us getting distracted. I did move all of this yesterday. I kind of switched things up over here. This is kind of the second of my planty corners. Just because I had this freed up, this like table from like moving the shelf around, and I thought it looks kind of cool there. Plus it keeps our boxer out of the window because he is a window hound. A window hound that likes to spy on everyone. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. Like I said, I missed you guys and it feels good to be back. I am unsure what the next video will be. Perhaps it'll be a repot and the Q&A that I've been talking about. I did get a few questions sent in, so I will compile those. But if you guys have any questions for me, let me know down below, and perhaps we'll separate that Anthurium together and go over some of the questions that you guys have for me. But also let me know if you guys are interested in more like greenhouse content, because it's definitely going to be easy for me to film at the greenhouse. There's so much to film there. Like I could just give you guys like a day in the life of, honestly, something like that, or a vlog style. I've been really enjoying the vlog style videos a lot because it's just fun. It's like, I feel like you guys are with me, you know what I mean? But yeah, so anyways, don't forget to check out the description box for the information about Sherry's Leaves, Palm Street, and Blue Moon Tropicals, and any of the products that you might be interested in that I have listed there. And yeah, so we will see you in the next one, right, JMO? We say goodbye? Say bye. Bye, guys.